Good evening, Lake Orion. Well, got a nice, wonderful day. You might notice I'm wearing my Avs jersey. We'll find out in a little bit. I'm your host, and I am Between Taorminas. Yes, indeed. This is Between Taorminas here on ONTV. I'm your host, Anthony Taormina, and you notice I got Sammy here, I've got Ian here, and I got a special guest with me, our Lake Orion boys basketball coach, Coach Jim Manzo. Coach, how are you?
Great. Thanks for having me.
Wonderful.
It's about time I got on here.
Yeah, you've asked to come on before, and we were able to work it out today.
I appreciate the invite.
For sure. Gentlemen, how you doing?
If you're a fan of the NCAA tournament right now, this has been the worst weekend of my life.
Oh, all right. Speaking of the NCAA tournament, let's talk about the NCAA tournament. Ian, how are you? Okay, who cares? All right, let's talk about the NCAA tournament. Some unbelievable upsets. Michigan State is out. Michigan is barely in. And we witnessed history. The first 16th seed to beat a number 1 seed. Coach, would you like to talk about the NCAA
I want to
tournament?
get back to the Spartans. That may have been the worst Syracuse team I've ever seen, and we still lost to them. I think if, little reverse psychology here, watching that game yesterday, Syracuse at one time was 1 for 7. I was thinking about this today. I don't think they could have made open three-pointers in a gym by themselves.
They only made one.
But State had a hard time guarding them. And then we got in foul trouble. We could have went. They should have went. We should have played some zone.
What I don't understand is, when you look at this game, was Syracuse got into foul trouble.
Yeah.
And Michigan State should attack them.
Yeah.
They should attack
They
them.
played 7 guys.
They would play 7
And
guys.
their third game
Yeah.
in 5 nights.
Yes, and that's not easy.
I mean,
They were the last team to get in the
and
tournament.
this is why I call Syracuse 2-3 zone the Mike Griffin effect, because he plays the 2-3 zone in girls basketball. And I'm thinking to myself, you could shoot threes on these guys, or have the big guy, or have somebody go inside. You know what bothers me was, why would Michigan State use a Solon senior? I think his name was Ben Carter. Why?
He might have been third minutes played yesterday.
Why?
Yeah, he was.
I mean, first of all, why would you not have Miles Bridges in the middle of that zone shooting layups?
Amen.
He could have shot layups.
Sounds like
This
he's
loss is on Tom Izzo.
You think this was worse than Middle Tennessee? You think this was worse than Middle Tennessee State?
No.
So you think Middle Tennessee State was
Yeah,
worse?
it's a little different though. Middle Tennessee did not miss a shot.
Yeah.
I mean, everything went in for him. Syracuse made 1 3-point, or one
And
three and
I
3
believe we
assists.
scored 80 points that game.
Right, right. They barely scratched 50
They
yesterday.
put up a stat yesterday, Syracuse offensive rankings. Did you see it?
Yes. Yeah.
Almost
We're
every
12,
one of
we're
them. That's what I'm
15.
saying. And we had a hard time guarding that one guy they were 19 of 23 from the line
They were.
in the second half.
Wasn't he a true freshman too?
I think you
And they had a guy foul out.
Yes, they did. Early in the game. So, but
17 for 68.
do you guys think, though, that playing in Detroit, there's a lot more pressure? Do you think
No.
that played a role?
No, I think that was like a home game for them. I mean, the game started, it was 5-0. It looked like they were just going to roll. But I'm with Sam. Bridges is on the perimeter. The middle of that zone was open, and we kept going to a guy that had not been in that position the entire year. I just didn't and I love Tom Izzo, but to not have Bridges in the middle of that zone where he can make plays, and they would have collapsed on him had the ball got to the free throw line. All of a sudden, you got people open.
Right.
I mean, like,
And Jaron Jackson and Ward are on the bench. Kevin Schilling never played.
Right.
I was hoping we weren't going to talk about this game, but I knew you guys were going to talk about this game.
Michigan barely getting in the Sweet 16 on a buzzer beater. What's your take?
I was asleep. I saw it the next day, but
I was watching in a bar on my phone.
I've
I've got nothing for you there.
I was crying when they hit that. I was getting ready to call Bob Bridges, thinking the big upset was coming against Houston, and then all of a sudden,
didn't they miss 2 free throws right
Yes.
before?
yeah, they missed
Yeah.
two free throws.
How does Houston not put a guy on the ball? Did you not see the Leitner play?
No,
The guy 6'10" and put him on the ball.
No, it's Evan Turner. They should have did.
Oh,
Remember
yes.
Evan Turner
Ohio
against
State.
Michigan? Yeah, that was
No point. No
they
point.
should have learned from the Evan Turner play, and yet they did not.
You
That's
gotta
what
put
happened.
somebody
You got
on
to
the
put somebody
ball.
in
You
the
got
inbound.
to.
I mean,
That's
like,
what I was saying. Why didn't you put someone on the inbound?
And then not only that, so you were double teaming somebody, and some guy just comes wide open and catches it. So who are
I
you
know.
guarding?
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
a,
that was
So-
bad. But it was too late for me. I
Right.
was in bed.
UMBC upset over Virginia. What is
No.
your guys' take?
I'm a defensive guy. You know, I've always been a defensive first type of guy. And to see the University of Maryland, Baltimore County explode for 53 points against a team that is a defensive first team like Tony Bennett
The
is,
best in the nation.
it's insane. It's insane.
This same
They
team
were
that scored
averaging- they
39
were
points
averaging
against
50 points a
Albany.
game.
Number
lost
one
50
overall
points a
rank in
game.
the tournament.
Number one overall ranking, sir. Number one overall seed.
UMBC barely beat Vermont at their place.
They lost by 40 plus to
They lost
Albany.
to Albany.
They talked about that on the radio. today.
Albany.
Who's Albany?
Albany's a good
The
team.
Seawolves.
Yes.
Oh my
Yeah.
lord!
How do you lose to Albany? How do you lose by 40 to Albany?
And then beat
it's
Virginia.
It's
I
like,
thought Virginia was going to win it the whole thing.
Yeah.
I thought
I got
that too.
Villanova, so
And I feel bad because I think Tony Bennett is a
he
phenomenal
handled that
coach.
with class.
He did. His
He handled
post
that.
game was
Yeah,
phenomenal.
he handled that with
He
class.
said you got to take the good with the bad, which is very true. But that's not bad. That's
worse.
the
man.
worst.
Arizona also losing to Buffalo.
I tell you what, though,
The
that I
guards.
watched that Buffalo Kentucky game. I can see because when I woke up and saw Buffalo scored 90 points against Arizona, how? That's the school Bobby Hurley left,
Right,
right?
right.
And did you know that that coach is a former Michigan high school coach?
Yeah, Coach Romulus.
Yeah, he coached at Romulus.
Yeah.
He coached at Romulus, and
he's
his
going to
three
be
players were at
he's going to
Romulus.
be getting a new job.
Oh,
at
yeah.
a bigger level.
Oh,
That
yeah.
point guard for Buffalo. I watched the Buffalo Kentucky game pretty much from start to finish, and that team is crazy athletic, and that's another team that I think, I know Calipari gets ripped on quite a bit, but you watch that Kentucky team, they could sneak up on some people now.
Could. Do you guys think though that who do you think's the favorite to win right now? Sweet 16.
You know, I
Isn't it Syracuse?
No.
I talked to Joey on his I talked to Joey on his podcast, and we were going back and forth.
Hey, Loyola Chicago, we called it. You and I called it. Loyola Chicago was going to pull off the upset, and they did.
Two of
You
them.
and I
Double
called
dip,
it.
yeah.
They
Yeah.
beat two good teams.
Yeah, they beat two
They
very
beat
good
two
teams.
very
but
good
Who do
right
they
now-
have now?
They have got Loyola Chicago. I think they've got. It froze on me right now. I think they got Nevada.
I think
it's
it might be.
Nevada.
I think it is.
Nevada.
Yeah, I think you're right.
I'd like
Nevada.
to see a bracket that had those two playing each other.
right.
Cincinnati, weren't they killing?
They were killing. Yeah, they were up 22.
22, yeah.
At 22.
This has been, I know they say it every year, but this has been the craziest tournament.
yeah.
Texas
Oh, yeah.
A&M just laying it on
North Carolina.
North Carolina.
I mean, yeah.
Bring it locally. Where do you think Michigan ends up?
Xavier's gone.
You think they got
Michigan
a shot?
could go Final Four.
Oh, I think
Michigan-
I
so.
think they
Good.
lose to A&M.
They could,
They
but
could.
they also have a very good chance to beat them because I don't
A&M
think
was
Wagner has played very well yet.
No.
A&M
Michigan in total is not bad. Even
A&M
against Montana.
though has been top 5 before.
That team is another one that you look at them and they pass the eyeball test. That team is big and athletic and
Any final thoughts on the NCAAs?
Just been a shocking tournament to say the least. I mean, I'm still very upset. My bracket's just dead because I had Arizona and Michigan State in the championship game.
oh boy.
Spoon?
Yeah, I mean, aside from Spartans going down, it's been a great tournament, I thought.
Buff?
Yeah, another team is West Virginia.
I had them losing to
Mighty Murray State.
Huggy Bear.
I have them in the Final Four. They're a good
That's
team.
that's an interesting.
Gonzaga too is in my Final
Yes,
Four.
I mean, I would say I have at least 3 of my 4 teams in the Final Four in my championship team.
You guys are still. You two are the most intelligent people right now. Me and you right now are just dumbfounded.
This side of the table.
This
not
side
At
of
least
the
he
table.
finally
Yeah,
realized
they
that.
realized it. Yes. All right, we'll be right back between Taorminas here on ONTV.
The North Oakland Household Hazardous Waste Program kicks off its 2018 season with an event at Oxford Middle School on Saturday, April 28th from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. Volunteers will be on hand to collect cleaners, paint, bleach, batteries, antifreeze, motor oil, electronics, and more. The event is free for residents of Lake Orion. Collection events will also take place at Oakland University on June 23rd, North Sashabaw Elementary School in Clarkston on July 28th, Oakland County Service Center campus in Pontiac on September 8th, and Oakland Community College Highland Lakes campus in Waterford on October 13th. For a complete list of acceptable items and other information, visit nohaz.com or call their hotline at 248-858-5656.
Welcome back to Between Taorminas here on ONTV. Guys, how are we doing?
Splendid.
Now, I want to talk to you guys about, was talking to the viewers earlier about why am I wearing this Avalanche jersey?
Been wanting that for 18 years now. About.
You're proud anyways. Okay, so the reason why I'm wearing the Avalanche jersey
I think it
is-
would make a nice doormat.
No,
People
let
could
it
just wipe.
make a nice.
Maybe you could just wipe your feet on it when you walk in.
No,
That
you
would be
don't.
nice.
No, that's what I do to a Michigan shirt.
You've had to wear a Michigan shirt a couple times. You had to wear one during one of Coach Manzo's games this year.
Because I lost a bet to Mr. Haas.
Yeah, you had to wear that.
When are you
Speaking
going to
of that,
accept things and get to rehab for this gambling, man?
Are you gonna wear the Michigan
When are,
shirt?
when are you
for
going to go
BT?
away for a month? You know,
You
get
think
healthy.
I need to go to rehab right now?
You've lost a lot of bets over the years, my friend.
At least you're beginning to pay up those bets.
That,
We doing
that's-
sleeper Stanley Cup picks today?
We might, but I mean, let's talk about how the Avalanche beat the Wings yesterday, 5-1. Are the Wings tanking? Are the Wings in? Hey, it's a great thing. It's a great thing. So, I want to. You guys think the Wings are tanking for next year? Do you think the Wings need a new owner?
I think it's
Give
hard.
me a new GM.
It's hard to lose 10 games in a row in the National Hockey League.
Yeah, it is.
In a game where so many games are decided by one goal, something's not right.
Right.
For that, because they went from being super competitive. The trade deadline came. They fought for a couple games, and lately it's getting out of hand. Now you're getting beat 5-1, 4-1, 5-2. I don't know.
I thought,
If it nets them the best player in the draft, then I think it's worth it. And I think it's hard to tank in the NHL.
Why are you
I
putting
thought
faith
when
in
I
a
was
ping
watching the
pong
Wings-
ball? Why are you putting faith in a ping pong ball
I'm
and
saying
praying hope
if-
for draft picks?
If it nets you,
It's not going to net them a
it's
draft pick.
the defenseman, and they say he's NHL ready.
Yeah,
Swedish guy.
Yeah.
I felt when I was watching the game, I thought it was really competitive.
Well, the Red Wings dominated the second period.
They did, and that kind of got me on edge a little bit because it was like, I mean, you saw signs that the Wings are more than capable of being
Well, and
really
the goalie
aggressive. But
they have in there right now, he has not answered the bell. I mean, he has not been good.
So-
Even by his own admission, he's not been good.
And that might be a sign they're trying to tank by throwing this guy out there.
But do
So-
you think also, to be fair, the Avalanche are surging right now. They're playing really
I try
good
not
hockey.
to follow him.
I try to get you to follow them. Now, and Sammy notices that, and Mr. Dallas Stars over there notices, oh, I'm gonna get the first wild card spot. Oh, I'm gonna make the playoffs. Oh, I'm gonna win the Stanley Cup.
I
You
think
know
the
what?
Stars players had their golf clubs out today. They were
might have.
cleaning their clubs out.
And you know what's happening? You might not make the playoffs. One, you might not win the Stanley Cup.
Even with Ben Bishop,
He's injured for 2 weeks.
oh, no.
Again, he got injured last night.
Maybe
against
they can
the Jets.
re-sign Joe Newendike.
They ain't
He's
gonna
only
re-sign.
49.
What's Eddie Balfour
Yeah,
doing?
well-
Yeah,
are
we
gonna
get
make the
Balfour
playoffs.
back, Newendike.
The
Brett
Avs-
Hull can come back and score another illegal
You
goal.
want to know
to win the
why?
cup.
The Avs might make the playoffs. The Avs are not only going to make the playoffs, they have a chance to win some games. I didn't say win the Stanley Cup.
they have a shot to win some games in the playoffs. That's a great improvement. And everybody was thinking the Avs were not going to make the playoffs. And that's the truth. You want to know?
I like the Bruins.
You think the Bruins? Do you
Leafs,
want to know
too.
why
Mike Babcock.
You want to know
Give me the
why?
Leafs.
Why Babcock?
He's the best coach in the league.
Do you guys want to know why I still have faith in the Dallas Stars making the playoffs? Because I know the Anaheim Ducks are going to tank and the LA Kings are going to tank.
The Queens.
Yeah. Because I cannot stand Ryan Getzlaf and Corey Perry. They're nothing more than a bunch of jerks and maggots, in my opinion. But I think when you look at Anna, I think Dallas will find a way to win the final 9 games of the year. They're going to win, starting with Washington.
They're
on
going
Tuesday.
They're gonna win 9 in a row.
Starting with Washington.
You're going to sprinkle fairy dust out on the road.
Really?
Hey, I'm going to sprinkle. I believe in the Stars.
I believe that we will win. I believe that we will win.
You want to bet?
9 in a row?
I am not going to bet
He has a
again.
gambling problem.
He has a gambling problem.
I have a
He can't make
financial
his bet.
problem. I need some help.
I got a gambling issue myself.
Yeah, you and Bob should gamble again.
What?
Yeah, really.
I thought you had faith in your team, man.
I do have faith in my team.
All right.
It's just because.
9 in a row.
It's just because. Here's why. Because I believe in my team. I believe Jamie Benn and Tyler Singer are going to start scoring goals again. I believe in John Klingberg with the defense.
All right, we're not breaking down Stars hockey here.
All right, nonetheless,
We live
who
in,
do you
are we
think
in
the best
Dallas?
team?
Where
Who's
are
the
we?
best? Nonetheless, who do you guys think is the best team right now?
It might be the Bruins.
Tampa.
You think Tampa?
Tampa.
What do you think, Buff?
Well, I think the Bruins are playing as well as anybody.
Tampa,
And
though, is the best team, one of the best teams right now.
And I think the
That's because
Eastern Conference to me is far better.
that's debatable.
That's debatable. Because you've got, okay, you
top
look at the
teams.
Central, you've got the Predators, you've got the
Are
Wild,
they number 1 right now?
Stars,
The
Avs.
Preds?
But what of those teams have done anything in the postseason? None.
Never say never.
Lightning have some experience. The Bruins have some experience. The
The
Leafs have the
Predators
greatest.
did some damage.
I can see the Predators from the West.
You know what I think's going to
The Predators are good.
They
They're-
are.
and
They
they
are.
have some some
They are.
They got there,
experience.
yeah.
They
You know
got
what I
there.
think's going to save your Red Wings? Firing Ken Holland. I think that's going to do a big thing.
They have a lot of picks. They're going to have a high first-round pick.
Maybe
Do
maybe
we want
Yzerman
Kenny
will come
Holland
back.
You
making
think-
the picks? I don't know.
Do you guys think Steve Yzerman will come back and take over the Wings?
No.
I
Yes.
do. I do.
I do.
Ian, why are you saying
don't.
no?
Because he is in Tampa, and he's built this team himself over the
But
last
he's openly
almost
said
decade.
he wants to come back to Detroit.
I think he's just talking.
He openly has said he wants to come back to
Well,
Detroit.
when
He
you
gets to
look
live
at-
in Florida during the wintertime. Come
When
on.
you look at players, of course, you got Joe Sakic in Denver. You
Yeah.
look at,
Yeah.
of course, I have a Detroit guy in Jim Neal as my GM. And then, of course, I think Ken Holland needs to get fired.
You think Holland needs to go?
I don't. This team made the playoffs for 25 years in a
Right.
row, and he managed his way through that. When the cap dynamics changed because you had all the free agents that were
Yes.
coming to the Red Wings, and all of a sudden when the era changed and the cap dynamics changed, they did not get that influx of highfalutin free agents that came, but the Wings still managed in that probably a 4 to 5 year gap to still get in the playoffs. And let's face it, the year the Blackhawks won the Stanley Cup, the Wings had them down 3 games
That's
to
true.
1.
They did.
They had the Lightning, took the Lightning to a Game 7. There's a difference in 2 games right there that would have changed their fortunes,
It's been a long
I think.
struggle
think-
for my Stars
but-
going through the bankruptcy process. I blame Tom Mix for that.
Do you think there's a lot more parity in the NHL?
Oh,
no
that's
doubt.
that's
Yeah.
without
I
question.
think that's the big. I
without
think that's the
question.
big reason. There's a lot more parity.
Which is
in the-
why this is a huge offseason for the Wings and a
Yeah.
huge draft. Because they don't normally draft this high.
Right. I mean, it's very
They don't have these
unfamiliar to have a
big
Red
picks.
Wings team draft high.
Who would look? What is Winnipeg right now? Are they 1 or 2?
Two.
2 overall
2 right now, yeah.
in the West.
Yeah.
Who would have said that at the start of the year?
They're supposed to be good.
Nobody.
So what
Not
also
that
the
good.
Oilers?
You know,
Yeah,
it
not
would be,
that good.
it would be a
Too.
crime because Dallas right now has more points than the rest of those teams in the Pacific Division, and yet they're going to take the Pacific Division team over Dallas. And
How about a
is
team
not
that
right.
no one talks about, and I don't like talking about them either, but the Penguins. What are they? 5th?
Yeah, they
They ain't gonna make it.
go
Any
far.
final thoughts on the
They're
NHL?
gonna go far.
Experience is huge in the NHL playoffs.
Yeah.
I can see him doing
I
something.
still have belief that the Ducks are going to tank and the Stars will get in, barely get in, sneak in.
Boss, you have any?
I like the Leafs and the Bruins.
We'll be right back to Between Taorminas on ON TV. Hello, Lake Orion. It's Anthony Taormina, co-host of Between Taorminas. I want to let you know of a new show called History Now. In it, we're going to talk about global, national, and political events that occur in our lifetime. We're going to also have guests and also have co-hosts as well, and also plenty of surprises. Catch us on History Now here on ON TV. Hello, Oakland County. This is Sammy Taormina talking OA Now. In it, we'll talk various stories from ranging from the state to Oakland County teams affecting the OAA. Catch us here on OA Now.
Oh, please.
Welcome back to Between Taorminas here on ON TV. We got a little hodgepodge going. Let's talk about...
Let's start with this. The Bears are not going to win the North.
What? They just made moves!
Yeah, they're going to move right out of Chicago if they keep
Mitch
losing
Trubisky's
games.
the real deal!
Oh, no.
So, what's your take about these moves by the Lions, the Bears, the Packers, and the Vikings?
You know what? I like Minnesota's move. I like Kirk Cousins in there. True
He
starting
can't throw,
quarterback.
though.
Yes, he can.
Can throw better than Case Keenum.
Case Keenum's going to
You have
Chiefs.
Dalvin Cook.
Chiefs?
You have
Broncos.
and you have,
I think Broncos. Yeah, right. You're
whoa, whoa, you have Dalvin Cook. You have running back
Oh,
coming
Dalvin
back,
Cook.
and then you have Adam Thielen, and then you have Stephon Diggs. Okay, you tell me that Kirk Cousins gonna have a better year. He's gonna
And
do
Kyle
well.
Rudolph, you know.
And
He's
Kyle
a Midwest guy, too.
Yes,
He's
he
gonna
is.
do
He's a
well.
Spartan,
You
too.
It's hard not to root for.
Their defense
They're
didn't
already
lose
a
a
good
beat.
team.
Yeah, they're already a good team. And when I look at the Lions, I don't think they've done a necessarily great
They
job.
just got LeGarrette Blunt.
And I'm kind of glad they've been a little bit quiet. I think the Patriot way is to build through the draft and don't get the high make the big splash in free agency. And I'm
Okay,
kind of
you
fine
said
with
it yourself here. There's rumors of getting the Dominican too. Are you kidding me?
No.
Well, I'm just
I
saying.
don't think that's going to happen.
That's not Bob Quinn's
No,
forte.
I don't think so
I don't think
either.
Martha wants to welcome him back to town either.
I would like to see them get. I know they signed a couple linebackers. I do like the signing too. The Sheed guy from Seattle, cornerback. I think that was a good
Deshaun
pickup.
Sheed or
And let's
Sneed.
face it, they're going to do something at tight end. They have to now.
Well, they had Lucas Wilson or Luke Wilson in from Seattle. He'd be a good one. He played
And
backup to Jimmy Graham.
Selleck
They had
was
Selleck
there.
in.
Isn't Jimmy
Speaking
Graham
of
going
They need
to
to get one of
Green
those
Bay
guys.
now?
Yeah.
Right. But
I
this
think
was
Green
Graham's
Bay's on the
backup.
decline. I really do. How could they trade?
Jordy Nelson.
They got rid of
that
Jordy
to
Nelson.
me is-
That's terrible.
Oh,
Well,
Unless they
Devontae
got
Adams.
paid Devontae Adams and Randall Cobb.
yeah.
And then you wonder what are they going to do with Richard Rodgers, the other tight end.
And then you have Chicago. Of course, Mitch Trubisky. I hear they got a new attitude.
Chicago, they got a new coach.
New coach.
Offensive guy from Andy Reid's
You
line.
know what
There's
moves?
certain teams you can't root for as a Detroit sports fan, and the
Chicago?
Bears are one of them. That's another one of them.
Oh, thanks. Oh, thanks. I'm proud of my abs.
And then you know
Let's talk about, speaking of treachery, let's talk about baseball
Oh.
and the Tigers.
Hey, you got a manager.
I told you to get him.
He
Ron
said-
Garner is for real.
He's sitting right next to you. You don't have to shout at him.
He's been doing it
I'm
for
deaf in
several
this
I was
year.
going to
from
say,
7
poor
years
guy.
ago.
He's been doing it for several years.
You know what? I'm going to tell you why the Tigers.
They're going to be
are
better than people think.
I would agree
They're
with that.
not going to.
They got to find some pitching.
They're not going to
Who said they're going to win the Central?
They're going to win the Central. They ain't going to win the Central, and here's why. They don't have pitching.
Just
Their
finish-
pitching is awful.
Finish above the White Sox.
Their pitching is awful. You know what I'm going to tell you right
Jordan
now?
Zimmerman is their opening day starter.
Yeah.
That kind of
we
says
need
it
to
all.
talk about that. What was that move?
Who do you think should be the opening day starter?
How
Maybe
about their
Fulmer?
ace, their rookie of the year? How about
Fulmer?
that guy?
Yeah, Fulmer should have been their starter.
I don't
but you know what?
understand
The
that at
Tigers
all.
don't have a bullpen. They have no bullpen.
Well, they have one. It's in the stadium. It's just whether or
They got
not
you
there's going to
playing
be
They're
catch
pitchers.
back
both.
there,
I mean, like, you can put a UPS man in the Tigers bullpen, and the Tigers.
What about
would be-
Lariano?
Really?
I mean, I would take Bambi over anybody in the Tigers bullpen right now.
Bambi does have a good curve.
It does. I would take Bambi. Heck, I would even take Jim Manzo in the Tigers bullpen.
Yes, you bet.
That's
And
a
you know
wild
what?
arm
You
goal.
know what
Back
happened?
in baseball?
You know what happened? You give up 7 earned runs in a game. What? You would give up 7 earned in a game. He'd give up 15 in a game.
Maybe in a frame.
So,
Maybe in not even an out.
so, what about the take about the Cleveland Indians and the Kansas City Royals? Two teams that you say that Ian roots for.
Cleveland's gonna win the division, baby.
They
I
probably-
told you they're gonna win the division.
They
You know
probably
it.
should.
If Cleveland doesn't win the division, somebody's got to be fired down.
Yeah.
Blowing up in the playoffs against the Yanks, and if you don't win the division when the Royals, Tigers, White Sox are all rebuilding, Twins, bleh, they're whatever.
And the Twins had the Twins is what gives me hope as a Tigers fan because nobody
The
saw that
flip,
Twins team
yeah.
winning.
Right.
They were a wild card team. You couldn't even name 3 Twins at the start of that season.
No, I
last
agree.
year.
Agreed.
The Tigers will at least have a lineup. You know,
That's right.
Miggy's not going to do what he did last
No.
year. He'll rebound. If Victor Martinez stays healthy and you got Castellanos, that 3-4-5.
Oh, yeah.
It's not
A lot of teams
bad.
would take that.
Yeah, it's not a
I
bad.
don't
It's not a
worry
bad
about
lineup.
their hitting as much as I
Well, they're
worry
going to
about
need to score. It's going to be like a softball
Yeah.
team. They're going to need to
I
score
don't
6,
worry
7
about.
runs.
I don't worry as much their pitching. You know what I mean? Their
Yeah.
pitching
Pitching
scares
is
me.
not good.
Their pitching, their bullpen. That's why I'm telling you guys, the bullpen is going to have some issues.
So, do you guys think the Kansas City Royals are in decline?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So, you actually agree?
I have to agree, but
Come
not
on.
Cleveland. And I think the Chicago White Sox are going to improve this year.
Well, it's hard to be worse.
It's hard, yes.
They're young. They're going to
So-
be scary in the next couple of years.
So going in, so you guys have hope for the Tigers.
None.
I do because I think he's a better manager.
None.
He won with less talent in
Even though
Minnesota.
I got faith in Ian's boy Ron Gardenhire, but I just had no hope until they addressed the bullpen.
Boss, you know 2 years ago that Sammy predicted Ron Gardenhire would be the next manager, and Ian would refuse to believe it. And guess who the manager is now?
Yeah, I think they were a couple years too late. I wish he would have received that team that Osmus got. But I'm glad he's here. I like him.
That's good. Hopefully he'll do some good things for the Tigers
think he will.
organization. Hopefully the lower leagues for the Tigers will do well too.
Well, their minor league system, I
minor
think,
league.
is getting better. They did accumulate some picks. So.
Right.
And I do like the kid, the Candelario they got from the
Oh,
Cubs.
man.
Yeah,
the third base.
I just picked him on my fantasy team.
They fleeced the Cubs in that deal.
Any
Justin
final
Wilson,
thoughts
I
on
know
the
It's going to
Tigers?
be okay.
They'll be
Sam's
all
right.
right. They'll be all right.
They'll go as far as their pitchers take them.
Any final thoughts on the Tigers and Lions?
Bullpen scares me. Lions scare me.
Can't wait till summer. In Matt Patricia, we trust.
Boss?
Yeah, I mean, they deserve a chance. I mean, at least on the Lions' end and the Tigers' end, they went with 2 guys that have experience and postseason experience. Both those teams they come from winning organizations. The Twins, all those years that he was there, they were in the hunt every year. And who did they have? Mauer and Morneau. And
M&M
that was
boys.
pretty much it.
All right.
So-
Awesome. Thank you, Coach, for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
It's a pleasure.
Good to see
Great
you.
having you.
Yeah.
You're more than welcome to come back on
I'll be
anytime you want.
back. I'll be back.
Oh, definitely. We'd love to have you come back on. It'd be fun. All right, that'll do it for this episode of Between Taorminas. We will catch you soon. Have a great night, Lake Orion, and see you soon. Take care.